Hello, welcome. It's Jenny Lee with the Archbishop's Appeal. And we're here in the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. And it's really a pace as we strive and we work steadily so that we can arrive to December 5th, which is the Saturday for the rededication of the cathedral to our Blessed Mother. You can see the gold leaf that is done on the pillars. And as you mount a little higher up, you'll be able to see all the rose windows that are completed and the leafing that is going on around them. The cathedral is painted in cream color and the accents of a dark, deep burgundy. The reason why you see all the scaffolding that's around, the heavy-duty work is done. Now it's just the finishing touches. And the big crane that you saw behind me is for the hanging of the chandeliers. And we have some 38 chandeliers that are going to be hung in the cathedral. And that's going to start as of next week. Also, right after that, we're going to be hanging the Sibyl Stations of the Cross. Well done. We have contracted chime masters from the United States, and they've been here. They came down, and they're installing the bells. We had a small example, but the electrical hookup is not completely finished.
Well, I've been here all week from the United States, working on preparations to get the bells electrified for the grand opening, rededication of the cathedral. Today we mounted electric striker hammers on 6 of the 7 bells that are in the tower. The reason we didn't do the 7th bell is it happens to be an identical note or identical pitch to one of the other bells, so it wouldn't add anything to the sound. And it's really, because it's a very old bell from about 1800, it's not mounted very well, not very securely fastened. So we thought we'd leave that bell hang stationary and mute at this time. So there's going to be 6 bells that will ring. They can ring all together as a real festive, joyous peal. Within the 6 bells, there are musical notes to make the traditional Westminster melody. And so the cathedral will be able to have and probably put back into use that traditional kind of grandfather clock tune that so many people are familiar with. And they can do that any time of the day, and it's really going to be an interesting beacon of sound and memories for people in downtown Port of Spain to hear those bells ring again. Electromagnetic hammers that are going to ring the bell. You can see there's a big hammer ball here on top. There's an electromagnet in this box, and the electricity will pull this plate in and throw the hammer against the bell, giving it a sharp strike, and then the bell rings. Like that.
Here we are with Michael Morgan in front of the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. Michael is the man who's been holding the fort down here. Tell me, how does it feel to be working on the cathedral from a spiritual aspect?
Fantastic. Honestly, fantastic. It's surreal to be able to stamp one's presence on history. So the fact that this cathedral is being done and will be finished, it's nice to know that you've done something that's going to last another 200 years, and you can say that you were part of it.
Tell us a little bit about the drain that we see here. What purpose does it serve?
Well, the power line, the power supply to the cathedral is no longer going to be overhead. So there's a generating system on the compound from which they will tap power. What they're doing, they've trenched to run cable to bring power to the church from underground.
Okay, but I also understand that there's a moat that runs, and I've seen pictures of it because way back in the beginning they put a camera in there and we have pictures of this moat that runs from George Street, and then it's blocked off and it continues. Well, it doesn't really continue.
It was part of the original drainage system for Port of Spain, whereby I think it was one of the tributaries from the dry river used to run underground here and out to the sea. And that had to be capped, I think, for the purpose of, building the cathedral. So now what we have is serious concrete underneath here.
But the water is not stagnant. And I get the feeling that it moves. It has to move. It's not
it would, because this part of Port of Spain it's a high water table, and we've always been.
Well, tell us about the high water table.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because what you see, if you look at the old pictures, you realize that originally when the cathedral was built, this was like just a piece of land attached. Independence Square South was mangrove.
The water lapped
everything
on the walls of the
cathedral.
On the southern side, yes.
So that over the years, having filled it, the water really water doesn't really go anywhere. It stays on the course unless you block it off completely. So yes, it will probably still drain. The topography of the land is what it is, and whatever is underneath, that's where it's channeling, and that's where it'll continue to channel. So the top of it was cast to allow for the cathedral to be built, and of course now we have to try and get through pieces of that in order to run the cable, to bury the cable, to bring power back to the church.
And did you hear the sampling of the bells earlier
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. She's almost there.
She's almost there. Pray for us so that it'll come through to fruition, and on the Saturday that we have wonderful weather so that His Grace and Archbishop Gilbert, who has promised to come, will be able to walk into the cathedral and celebrate Mass and just have it blessed and rededicated once more to the Blessed Mother. On the Sunday, everyone, all the parishes, we've sent out notices to your parish priests. Everyone is invited to come and celebrate Mass with Bishop Robert Lianos on Sunday at 10 o'clock. You know, our cathedral is a very small space, and we cannot really have everybody on the Saturday, and for that, please accept our humblest apologies. But once it's reopened, we'll be doing school tours. Trinidad and Tobago, it's an open door. Come and visit. Come and say hello to your Blessed Mother in the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. May God bless you all.